Hello, it's Dr. Shel Watts of MBAadmit.com. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Today, we're going to do a very short video about mistakes to avoid in order to get a great executive assessment score. Before delving into the topic, just a little bit about our company. I've been providing admissions advising for over 30 years. Our company predates all of the top EMBA programs, which means that we understand the nuances of the admissions very well, and we bring that to you to help you put together an outstanding application. One of our distinctives is, as you will notice, our very low pricing relative to competitors. Many of our competitors charge $6,000 to $7,000 per application. We price around $24.95, and we also are willing to just review your work if you've already drafted and give you as to how to strengthen it. That package starts around $725. We are more than happy to let you know what we think about the strength of your candidacy. So if you would like a free profile evaluation, just send us your LinkedIn profile or a recent resume to info@mbaadmit.com. You can also fill out a profile evaluation form on our homepage. So let's get into the 5 mistakes to avoid. One of the first things that people do wrong when they're doing the executive assessment is they just go take a test without really understanding where they are in terms of skills. That is definitely not a good idea. You don't want to be taking it blindly. And so, one of the best things that you can do is go to the GMAC website. So, GMAC, they are the makers of both the GMAT and the executive assessment. And on their website, they sell for a very modest price practice materials, which include 4 practice exams. So if you purchase that, you will be able to work your way through some sample questions. And if you practice for a week or two, then you should take the first of the 4 practice exams and see how you do. It's going to give you a snapshot of where your skills are. If you find that your quant is weak, then you know that that's an area to focus on. But it's better to know where you are and not test blindly. Secondly, unfortunately, you cannot always assume that the practice exam is accurate. Historically, candidates have found that the practice exam comes in about 3 points higher than the real score. So I do always advise our candidates to um, don't go take the real test until they're comfortable that the score they might see might be 3 points less than what they saw on the practice exam that was supplied by GMAC in its materials. So therefore, if you get a 151 on the practice exam, you could very well go test and get a 148. So you want to just make sure that your practice exam score is in a range that you feel comfortable with so that you're not disappointed when you actually get the real test result. Another mistake to avoid is studying everything equally when it's not needed. So if you take a practice exam and you see that your quant is 8 and you've got 11 on the other areas, then you really need to tailor your studies, target your studies to that area of weakness. Now, quant is the most important for the top EMBA programs. For most schools, 10 shows solid skills. Wharton prefers 12 to 14. And so you need to look at each of the components of your score on the practice exams and tailor your studies so that you're strengthening any areas that are notably weak. Another mistake to avoid is choosing the wrong study path. So once you have an understanding of what your weaknesses are, what your strengths are, then choose a path that makes sense. For some people, they score reasonably well on the practice exam, so they know that they're in pretty good shape. They can move forward with just self-study, continue to use the practice materials that GMAC has supplied, maybe get a hold of some others. For others, they may need help across the board because they're weak in most of the categories, those 3 categories of the verbal, IR, and quant. And so maybe you enroll in a prep course. You can go to the GMAT Club, gmatclub.com, and you will see people giving their advice about which of those prep courses are good. And then some people will choose to do a one-to-one tutor. That's especially maybe appropriate if you have one particular area where you need to build up, say, quant, and some of those concepts are new to you. So if you feel like you need the one-to-one help, you can reach out for that. However, it is the most expensive option. And so just be mindful of that. And then other people just find that if they take a math course like mbamath.com or UC Berkeley's online math for management, that that process of strengthening their quantitative skills through the course actually prepares them better for the executive assessment. So you need to think about, which of these is the right path for you given where your skills are. And then the fifth mistake that I want to talk about is squandering the GMAT practice exams. So you only have four. So you do not want to just run through the 1, 2, 3, 4, one after another if you're not scoring well enough. So what you want to do is if you take that first exam, the practice exam, and you find that you're not happy with your score, you should study well before you take the next because you will run out after the four. And so you do want to use the GMAC ones to gauge where you are. And so pace yourself. That's the biggest thing to say is pace out the use of those practice exams so that you don't zoom through them and you're still not scoring where you want. And then now you don't have additional practice exams that are supplied by GMAC. So those are, tips that you can employ to try to get on a path to get a great executive assessment score. We're going to actually do another short video tomorrow just to help you understand other mistakes to avoid as you get closer to the day and on the test day so that, again, you maximize your odds of getting a great score. So please join us for part 2, mistakes to avoid, so you get a great executive assessment score. Thanks for joining us today. Please do reach out to us. We have plenty of other webinars on our website, so you can take a look at all the things that we talk about, from overriding a low GPA to mistakes to avoid in the overall EMBA admissions process. And don't forget, feel free to reach out to us should you like a profile evaluation. Thank you so much for joining us today.